Dan Illman, Matt Bernier. The feature race at Del Mar on Saturday is the Grade 1 Bing Crosby Stakes at 6 furlongs. It's race number 9, a top field of sprinters. Let's take a peek. You've got last year's Breeders' Cup Sprint winner, the number 2 Dre Fong. What a year he had, reeling off 5 in a row from 2015 all the way to 2016. Where has he been, and will he fire off the bench? If it was any other trainer, I'd be like, I'm worried, but Baffert, I don't worry.
And that's the thing, you know, you just kind of look at it. Is this the only Gio Ponte that can step on dirt at all? And guess what? Most of the Gio Pontes so far have been a little suspect, but that's neither here nor there. Another story for another day. This horse, there's nothing to knock about him. All he does is go out and run fast. He took on older horses in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. He flicked away Masochistic. You saw what has come of that race. The likes of Mind Your Biscuits, who's turned into the best sprinter on the East Coast. Masochistic, okay, maybe he's lost a little bit, but he's still a quality runner. There's not a lot to knock about this horse other than the price.
He won off a 6-month layoff last year. He's going to have to do it against a tougher field, off a slightly longer layoff this time around. But boy, his Breeders' Cup Sprint was good. Mind Your Biscuits, the horse that finished 3rd, has sort of turned into the best sprinter in the country, not named Dre Fong. Yep. And Dre Fong has got a big amount of early foot. I want to see what the Timeform US Pace Projector has for this race. They've got Dre Fong, the number 2, out there. Gonna have to deal perhaps with the 3, St. Joe Bay. Peter Miller's got a strong hand in this race. St. Joe Bay got good over the winter. They sent him to Dubai. Was not embarrassed by Mind Your Biscuits and the Golden Shaheen. He's coming off a little bit of a break. My opinion with St. Joe Bay, and I'm a fan, you know I'm a big fan. I think that Miller found great spots for him over the winter, while horses like Dre Fong were hibernating.
I agree with that. I mean, look, this was a horse that not too long ago was in non-winners of 2 other than company, and now all of a sudden he turned into just some monster. The interesting thing about St. Joe Bay, I don't like him. Dre Fong, almost all of his races, he's been out right on the lead. If all of a sudden he doesn't make the front, or St. Joe Bay makes life miserable for him off the bench early, maybe that softens Dre Fong up.
If they go at it hot and heavy, Roy H., the number 8, might be in a beautiful spot, as he was last time out. Sort of his coming out party. Yeah. When he took the Grade 2 True North, he won it with a 1:11 Beyer speed figure. He runs that race again, he's winning, whether Dre Fong shows up or not. Here's my worry. That True North has not come back strong.
That was the only thing that turned me off. Now look, you loved him that day and you got the number. You're never going to get that number on him again unless it's the Breeders' Cup Sprint, and depending on what he does the rest of this year. That was the only thing that turned me away, was that race has not come back strong. And we should have probably been a little bit concerned when in this race, when he earns a 1:11, stall-walking dude who's run 75 million times earned a career best figure that day running 2nd. Then that's maybe when you got to question it a little bit. Visually, he was awesome. This is 2 starts in a row, 1:11, 1:06. He's done nothing wrong. This could be a scenario where I'm going to look like an idiot afterward when I look at it and say, oh, wow, the 1:11, the 1:33 Timeform US horse, he ended up winning and he didn't pick him.
And he might not have been the favorite. Right. Dre Fong might get hammered off of his credentials as a Breeders' Cup Sprint winner. Peter Miller has a longer shot in the 9 Solid Wager. This horse needs a lot of pace up front. Throw out the Met Mile. Nobody was beating more spirit that day.
He needs pace up front. I also would have loved to have seen a race between the Met Mile and now, so you could turn him back. I understand it's a short turnaround, but I like the idea of him on the turnback.
Is Denman's Call going to end up being a one-hit wonder? He took Masochistic down in the Grade 1 Triple Bend at 7 furlongs, and then he just hasn't run very well in his last 2. Now, can you say, all right, they shipped him to Churchill, he caught a wet track, and the Met Mile, he was just overmatched when More Spirit ran the race of his life. Is he that dirtied up that 20-1 becomes attractive?
Yeah, I kind of think so. I mean, again, maybe I'm just going overboard. I really thought that Triple Bend was legitimate. He got into it, he went and got Masochistic, and he put him away. I mean, this was a really good effort. Then you catch the wet track, and by the way, it was a better effort from him than it just looks on paper. He had some trouble down the lane, and the Met, I'm not going to hold that against him at all. Now you get back to what you want to do. He could also work out a decent enough trip. If he's sitting, 4 or 5 lengths off the pace and they throw it down early, I picked him 4th. I don't think he's totally out of here.
Phil D'Amato is a formulator fact horse at a big price. Number 7 Coastline is 30-1 on the morning line, and as we see, D'Amato has done well recently. Past 6 months, 2nd off the bench. Older dirt sprinters, he's 42% with a $6 ROI. This horse pressed last time out in the San Carlos and paid the price.
I have a feeling he is in here basically for the same reason I think he was in the San Carlos, and that's to try to soften up the early pace setters.
We'll get to the reason why he would be entered perhaps as a rabbit in a moment. The 11 Mo Candy, 2nd in the Grade 2 Kona Gold when last seen a couple of months ago, and as usual, didn't change leads in the stretch.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem. I mean, he's been a physical issue for his entire career, and look, good on John Sadler for keeping him as good as he's been this year. It's going to be his 5th start. That's just a minor miracle for this horse. I just don't think he's quite this good.
Peter Eurton might be the hottest trainer in the country, not named Jorge Navarro.
Yeah.
Four for his first 9 at Del Mar during this meet, and he's got the old warrior. Kobe's back in for more. Now, you know what you're getting at the start. He's going to be slow out of the gate, but if the pace is fast, you know that Kobe's back's usually going to give a good, strong run. Do you think he might have lost a little zip off the fastball at the age of 6?
That's the thing for me. I just think even though, like you say, you know what you're going to get, I think he's a little bit slow.
Let's take a look at our top selections for this year's Grade 1 Bing Crosby. I think we're on the right one here, Matt. I really think that Ransom the Moon is sort of the up-and-comer, sort of like how Roy H. looked to me before the most recent start at Belmont Park. This is a horse who was just, unfortunately for him, on the wrong surface to start his career. Turf, synthetic. Hey, if you're based in Canada, there's not much you can do. Ever since Phil D'Amato took over this horse's training, got him on dirt, he has just been a different animal. You liked him last time out. He gave a good horse all he could handle.
On the far turn, I'm counting my money basically at 5-2 because I thought that was stealing as well. But Dancing Candy, let's just call it for what it is. I mean, he really has turned into a truly, truly talented animal. And Ransom the Moon, he ran his eyeballs out. He just couldn't quite get there. I believe D'Amato afterwards said, too, he didn't love the way he was finishing at 7/8 of a mile. Now you get him back to 6. Also, keep in mind the Breeders' Cup is going to be at 6 furlongs. I just think he could work out the perfect trip in here. I think Coastline's going to go. I think St. Joe Bay is going to go. I think Drefong, he's the horse to beat in here if he runs his race or if he improves from 3 to 4. But boy, there's a lot of things to throw at him coming off of this long layoff. I think Ransom the Moon takes advantage.
Breeders' Cup Sprint winner Drefong is back. We're going to try to take him down. Hope he's a little short off the layoff. 4-8-2-1 for Matt. 4-8-3-2 for me. In the Grade 1 Bing Crosby at Del Mar, race number 9 on Saturday. And if you are betting the Saturday Del Mar card, consider DRF Bets, because once you sign up, $300 cash bonus, yours. 10% win place takeout on 10 select tracks, including Del Mar, yours. All you got to do, drf.com/take10. Again, Der Bingle as an approximate post time of 6:10 Pacific. Good luck.